Pick 'em pop, big gun Brian Petrie, giving out the lot. One is mortal, you know it won't miss. Gonna take a shot, dog lock, that's the underdog. Yeah, they in the hunt. Send them home, that's KO or submission. Yeah, somebody done. Slimeball, yeah, that's the parlay. We gon' make it known. Pick 'em pod from MMA takes. Yeah, let's get it going.
Yeah. Woo! Second time I start the pod. Believe it or not, I had some technical difficulties. That's never happened to me before. What's up with the what's up, baby? This is UFC 302 fight week. Can't wait. I know I am missing my boys. Christian and Timbo are not here. I had to record this on a Wednesday afternoon. Wanted to go live for you this week. Timbo is a busy guy. He's got a lot of people to kill. Christian in the softball league got a lot of dingers to hit. And my wife has been picking up a ton of extra clients, working her goddamn ass off because we got a vacation next weekend. We're going to the beach. So she's getting all that money that she can get. So our schedules didn't line up this week. We tried to make it work. Unfortunately, it did not work, with the time difference, everything like that. I told Christian that since he, the show can't go on without him, or he's not going to be on the show this week for a pay-per-view week, he's got to hit at least 3 home runs. So I'll keep it posted on that. If he doesn't hit 3 home runs, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to send the guy, we'll have to do something about that dude. 302 fight week. We're here. We're going to break down the entire card. I'm going to give you the Slimeball parlay. I'm thinking about going live. I wanted to go live this week. So I'm upset I can't go with the boys. I'm thinking about going live Friday and giving you my green hammer then, talking about props, talking about last minute things. Maybe it's like a new wrinkle I do Friday nights before the pay-per-view. Get live, get with you boys and girls, and see what you want to do. And hopefully Timbo and Christian can pop by. But if not, we'll still fucking rock it, babe. You know what I mean? And by the way, I haven't got a pat on the back yet for putting timestamps on my videos. It's just me here. I don't have the talented Cody Marrow as a producer. I'm doing everything. And I put the timestamps in because everyone's harping on it. You talk too much about this. Give me time. Timestamps are in there now, right? So you're welcome, right? You're fucking welcome. I haven't heard anybody yet, but I didn't get a big fucking fat thank you. And then already record the Anakin Florian. You'll probably see Anakin Florian before you see this. This will come out on Thursday. Recording on Wednesday. We already recorded the Anakin Florian. I think they said it's going to be out Wednesday. There was a tweet I pushed out. I will address it. I had a confrontation with a snake. Okay? It was thrilling. I told the story in the Anakin Florian. I'll let you watch it there. I don't want to repeat myself, but I do have a story to tell you right now, right? Wednesday Takes, by the way, thank you. Everybody that watched Wednesday Takes, commented, DM me, said it was awesome. My bread and butter is the pick'ems, but it's really cool that when I branch out, people support it, people like it. I like doing it. It was a lot of fun. And it's something that I want to continue to do more so, but it's just a lot of editing, and I don't want to, take away from my prep doing this show with the picks and blah, blah, blah. Because believe it or not, even though my picks sometimes are dog shit, I do a lot of prep for this stuff. You know what I mean? I do a lot of work. But I really appreciate everything. But I told a story on there about a time where my wife and I were dating about a month in a relationship where I got in a fight. Last fight I've ever been into. Well, threw a punch. I've gotten a little verbal altercations here and there. Last punch I threw, it was about 11 years ago. Had it been 11 years ago? Yeah, because we're going to tell that. And I know what you're thinking, right? If you're new to this, you maybe have seen some videos on Instagram. I can box a little bit. God, your boy got in a lot of fights, right? I'm going to throw up a high school picture of me right now. That's my senior year picture. This dude wore a lot of pink. He wore a lot of Hollister. He had blonde in his hair. Wore jeans that were $80 that were mostly holes from Abercrombie, right? But this dude got underestimated a lot and threw down a ton. See, one thing I've always been good at in my life was being able to throw these things. Dude got in a lot of fights. So I wanted to play a game. Before I tell you this fight story, which I reluctantly tell my fight stories because I have so many of them because it seems like I'm bragging about me being such a Billy Badass. People requested it, so I'm going to tell it. But in the comments, this dude right here, I know I look like a beefcake now. I got the neck beard going, right? The tattoos. I look tough. How many fights do you think I've been in my life? And I'm counting 15 to 26 because I guess it was the last time I got into like a physical altercation. So 15, 26. I'm not counting middle school and I'm not counting elementary school. The number would go up enough, all right? So I'm not going to reveal it on the podcast. I'll comment on below the closest. I don't know what we'll do with the closest, but hit up the comments how many you think I've been in my life, street fights. I just counted in my head as I was preparing to tell the story. In my head, I'm working out how to tell the story without, talking too much, not leaving out details, whatever. But anyway, comment this dude, how many fucking fights I've ever been in. And again, it's not like 2,000 or 1,000 or even 500 or anything crazy like that. I'm not fucking make believe Vin Diesel from fucking Fast and Furious or whatever, you know what I mean? But just use your gut, use your head. How many you think, and throw it in the comments. We'll have a little fun with this. All right. So as you guys know, 11 years ago, I had a seizure in May 2013. I had a seizure. The day before I had my seizure, I had my first date with my wife, my now wife, Erica. I'll refer to as Erica from here on out. After I had my seizure, I was on tons of medication. It was brutal. I could barely lift my head up. I don't do well. I don't take any kind of medication, rarely. And when I was on some hardcore pills, they're still trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And I got my license taken away they told me not to drive for 3 months. It was a rule in Ohio. Can't drive for 3 months. The only rule I've ever followed in my life. I did not drive. My wife was driving me around a lot of times. So we were literally first date, end up in the hospital. She comes to take care of me. We fall in love. Rest is history. We got 2 beautiful kids. She's the woman of my dreams, and she's incredible. So about a month into our relationship, maybe 3 weeks, she's driving me around. I'm not working. I got to take time off work as well. My head's still a little spacey or whatever. She goes, hey, let's go to this pizza place my dad and I like. It's called Riverfront Pizza, right? I'm going to put a picture up right here, kind of give you the lay of the land of Riverfront Pizza. Down in Covington, Kentucky, over the bridge, little northern Kentucky situation. So I was like, yeah, sure. So we go for lunch. And I don't know if you can tell by where we walk in, you order your pizza, and right where the second set of windows where the Sam Adams is, we sat kind of right there. My back was to the window, and then her back was to like the restaurant. And over by these bricks is like a wall that comes out, so I can't see the other side of the restaurant, right? So I'm sitting there eating with her, and we're having a good time. And all of a sudden, this Paul Wall motherfucker, dude looks like Paul Wall, short, stocky dude, white shirt. Fucking long ass jorts on, white fucking Air Force One, Cincinnati hat that goes like this, walks by, right? And he sees my beautiful wife and he stares right at me, right? My wife's back's to him. And this dude's dogging me, just straight dogging me, staring right at me. And I'm like, all right, I don't like this, dude. I mean, he was staring at me and he walked to the counter. He got like a napkin, walked back, didn't stare at me at the walk back. At the last second he stared at me, we made eye contact, right? I don't think anything of it. Whatever. Okay. Back to the entertainment, talking to my wife, blah, 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 having a good time. How's it going? Yeah, you're sweet. And then another dude comes out, right? Looks like the same as that guy, maybe a little huskier. This time he's got face tattoos. He's got neck tattoos. Looks like Paul Wall though. Cincinnati hat, the same hat, white t-shirt, black, really oversized black jeans, white Timbs. Or excuse me, Timberlands on, not white Timbs. Timberlands on, black jeans. Walks by, stares right at me. This guy's dogging me even more than the first guy. Goes and gets a napkin. Comes back, dogs me again. At this point, I drop my napkin and I'm like this. And my wife's like, what? I said, I'm going to be honest with you. There's these 2 guys that just walked by. You missed them. And they just kept staring the fuck out of me. And it's driving me nuts. I hate when I just get stared at by someone I don't know. You ever drive your car and you're like a neighborhood or whatever, and there's someone just stares into your car? Like, what the fuck are you staring at, bro? Like, I hate it. The alpha gets my blood pumping. So I'm like, she's trying to calm me down. Like, Brian, just calm down, your head and, you're going through some stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I know. It just pisses me off. She said, well, I'm going to go get a box and we'll go. I said, okay. So she gets up and goes and gets a box. As she gets up, my wife she wears a lot of leggings like all the girls do. And she's got a phenomenal butt, right? And she has a tattoo, about half of her butt cheeks tattooed. So she's wearing these black leggings and they're a little bit older. You can see her tattoo through the leggings, essentially. So both these motherfuckers beeline to the counter as she's getting a box and stand up at the counter. And I see it and I can't see exactly what's going on. There's like a wall blocking me and I'm just like, all right, fuck it. Be cool. And then she comes back and sits down. I said, what did those guys say to you? She's like, nothing. They just kept staring at me. And then they walk back in, didn't really look at me the second time. I was like, all right, let's just box this shit up and get out of here before I lose my fucking temper. So we're boxing up. And then at this point, we're just having a conversation. We're not like rushing or anything. And then they leave. So they leave. So they walk out. They got 2 fucking kids behind them. 2 kids, probably like 7 and 9. I don't know. 2 fucking kids walking behind them. And as they're leaving, they just fucking shot me a look. And they go and they stand behind the window right behind me. And they're standing there, and I look at my wife. I'm like, do you mind if we just chill out here for a second before we leave? Because I'm going to fucking lose it. She's like, yeah, sure. It's like 15 minutes go by, and we don't see their heads anymore through the window. So we're like, all right, it's time to go. So we leave. So if you see the picture that I put on the screen, they move from the window into this like little, where the umbrella's at, this little brick area here, right? So I couldn't see them. So we come out, and my wife's parked right where that weird gold, right by the front door, that gold station wagon is. And there's a car between us, and they're parked in some shitty Ford Explorer next to that. Doors open, music blaring, the kids are in the back seat, and they had moved over to the brick part and started smoking there. So I walk out, I'm like, God damn it, whatever. Okay. Keep my head down. I go and I put the pizza in the back seat. They're smiling and like whistling at my wife. She walks by and whatever. And I'm thinking, I'm just like, all right, get in the car. I got in the car. I'm like, keep your cool, keep your cool. And then the one huskier dude knocks on the front hood and goes, call me. And they both laugh hysterically. Like it's the funniest fucking thing in the world. And I went, well, I didn't say that, but I got out of the car and just beeline, like walked, with a purpose towards them. And I don't remember what I said. Probably something like, oh, you think that's fucking funny? Some tough guy line, whatever. The stockier dude who knocked, he was the first one. They both are coming at me, right? The stockier dude gets to me first. And of course, he's got his fucking hands down like this, right? And I throw like a left, not like a jab, but like I'm going to grab the other dude who's coming on my side by the throat. And so it's like a jab, but more of a grab, right hand to the stockier dude. Naps him, dude. Sleeps him, dude. I'll never forget the thud of the concrete that he hit. Boom, boom. Just boom, slumped him. Then the other dude, like at this point, he might have thrown a punch, but didn't land. And we're kind of locked up. And I got the back of his head, and my right arm is like under his armpit, right? And I just throw him like you throw kids in a pool, right? You just fucking launch him. I launch this motherfucker in between our two cars right here in the parking lot. This is the exaggeration part. I felt like he went 10 fucking feet. Probably went like 2 or 3, but he's a smaller guy. Launched him. And he landed, boom, on his back and start rolling a little, but he gets up, right? And I start kind of walking towards him with a purpose. He's holding his elbow and he starts backing up. Like, what, man, what? And he's yelling about something. The kids are crying now. So now I'm coming back to realization that these fucking idiots, they won. They got me to fucking react. And now their kids are crying. I have no idea who's the dad, who's the what, whatever. Then the woman from Riverfront Pizza comes out who looks like the chick from Mrs. Deeds. Put a picture up for you right there. I'm calling the cops on you, blah, blah, blah. So we paid in cash. So they had no reason to trace us with our fucking credit cards. Didn't know our names or anything like that. Maybe got my wife's license plate. We never heard from the cops, but we got in the car and we drove off. It's probably like a 15-minute drive back to my house, and I'm fucking fuming. These motherfuckers, I'm steaming up the window. It's the summertime. I'm fucking steaming up the windows. I'm so fucking hot. My wife sat there calmly, was just like, whoa, blah, blah, blah. And I thought I ruined it because I had done this before with another girl where she saw me lose my temper and fight a guy and ruined it. She said, I don't want any part of that. You know what I mean? I don't want any part of that testosterone. So we get back to the house. And again, this is why this is my wife. She dug it. You know what I mean? The hero got his hero reward, if you know what I mean. But yeah, fuck those guys for doing that. I felt terrible because they did it in front of their kids, I'm assuming. But yeah, fuck those guys. My only regret is I didn't sleep the other dude. I just kind of tossed him like a toddler in the pool. Just, ugh. So that's it. That was the fight story right there. Everyone wanted to hear it. There it is, 13 minutes in. Let's get to the real fights, the real fighters, not this guy. All right, next up, I guess, right? Mitch Raposo. Yeah, Mitch Raposo. That's how you say it. Plus 215 versus Andre Lima, minus 265. Big drink there. Big drink energy. So listen, I actually like Mitch Raposo. I think he's a good fighter. He's 9-1, was on the Ultimate Fighter, lost, was on the Contender Series, lost. So he's had 2 shots in the UFC. And he's always getting highlighted. He's always getting featured on the local cards. He's from Massachusetts. He's on that East Coast stuff, Cage Titan and whatnot. His fights are kind of always spotlighted because he does well. He gets finishes. Since his loss to Jake Hadley in the Contenders, he's gone out finished. But he's finished guys that are 3-2, 7-4, 2-0, 4-2, and his most, that was his most recent one was the 4-2 by knockout round 4. over a guy named Justin Valentine, who's now 4-3. Doesn't really have much information on him. He's coming out of Connecticut. Yeah, I mean, just a CSC fighter. There's not much about him that I know of. Seen the fight. Raposo looked pretty good, but Andre Lima, 8-0. He was the dude that got bit against Severino his last time out. This dude's a scrapper. He wears like a cool little funky hat on the way to the cage and stuff. As much as I want to go Mitch, because I think Mitch has some decent grappling. He has some cardio. His striking's getting better. I feel like the 2 times he was in the UFC spotlight, under the UFC, whatever, he fell very short. I think he's going to fall short again. Lima is not a chump. His takedown offense is pretty good. He's got a lot of finishes. He's got finishes in the clinch. He's got finishes by striking. His only loss professionally is a Muay Thai loss by doctor stoppage, by cut. He's got a lot of kickboxing experience. If he can stop the takedown, I think he can win here. I want to go Mitch so bad for the underdog play. The kickoff tonight, plus 215 dog. How do you like me? But I just think Lima is the better pick. I'm going to go Lima minus 265. I don't love it. But I just think Mitch might fall short, on the bright lights. Not everyone can handle the bright lights. All right, next up, Alan Perez, minus 185 versus Jocelyn Edwards, plus 154. I always mispronounce this Perez's girl's first name. She's the girl that shakes your ass, right? She's the one that wins, that twerks, and the fucking interpreter caught looking one time. Like, damn, that's nice. You know what I mean? I met that guy. He's a nice guy. Damn, that's nice. Listen, I think Perez all day. I think Jocelyn Edwards, inconsistency is a key. She's a good striker. She has fights where she's got a ton of volume, and then she has fights where she completely shuts down. I think Perez is sporadic and tough and grimy that could shut Jocelyn down. Her takedown offense is 64% in the UFC. That's not terrible. Perez, though, is just going to push at pace. I think Edwards is cleaner on the feet. I think Edwards might have some tricks off her back, but Perez is just that dog in there. I thought we were going to get a higher price on Perez. I like Perez here. Not sliming her up or anything like that, but I do like Perez as a single wager bet. I like Perez by decision. I don't think she can get Jocelyn Edwards out of there. I'd be surprised. But I like Perez by decision here. Low price at minus 185 is someone that I kind of capped at maybe minus 250-ish. You know what I mean? So give me Perez. All right, next up, Mickey Gall, plus 300 versus Basil Hafez, minus 380, excuse me. So this Basil guy, he's got a lot to live up to, right? He's 8-4-1, right? He's got kind of a, this guy's only second time in the UFC kind of record, right? He's got some decent wins outside the UFC. Evan Cutts is like his rival. They split a fight together. He's knocked Evan Cutts out, and then he lost a split decision. He's got losses over Richard Williams, who I do not even know who that guy is. Let's see what his old Dick Williams record is right now. 1-0. He fought Basil back in 2018 and said, "That's it. I don't need any more." But this guy looked pretty good against a Jack Della, three-name Jack Deli, who he obviously took the fight on short notice. He gassed out, but every time Jack thought, "I got this guy in a choke, I got this guy in the grappling," Basil reversed him. He's a tank of a dude. He's got a good chin. And on the ground, he's like a legit problem. Like his positioning, his submission defense is pretty fucking good, right? And then you got Mickey Gall, who obviously got skyrocketed to the UFC. And he's never been on firm footing. He's never really got, he came in the fight, CM Punk, right? He did that rear naked choke, Sage. Got beat up by Randy Brown, beat up George Sullivan. Diego Sanchez got him in round 2, which was a horrible performance. He beat up Sam Tahari, whoever the fuck, Tahari. Sorry, Sam. Salim, not Sam. Slim, who doesn't have a fucking UFC win. So the record's weak. He's coming off of 2 losses. Mike Malott knocked him out, and then the Morono loss. His last one was over Jordan Williams by rear naked choke in round 1. So both these guys want to get the fight to the ground. And the number's wide. Basil's minus 380, which is crazy, but I think he's going to get it done. I didn't slime him. I'm staying away from the parlay. I'm not going to fall into that fucking trap that I always do. I think Basil could be a lock. I think this dude steamrolls Mickey Gall. I think he beats him up on the feet. I think if he takes him down, he gets out of any position Mickey wants to go in. I think Mickey is average at best on the ground, but I'm not going to fall into He looked good against 3-Name Jack, who I'm high on. That means he's going to look good against Mickey. That's not the case. The guy is inconsistent. He's 8-4-1. Not just world beater yet. He's 32 years old. Needs to start fucking putting the pedal to the metal now. But give me Hafez. Give me Basil. Minus 380. I'll play that maybe by finish, maybe by TKO, maybe by submission. Not really sure how I'll play this. Got to cut that number down a little bit. You could throw him in a parlay. I won't hold it against you if you throw him in a parlay. I'm just saying for me, who fuck up on parlays all the time, this seems like a really good fuck up spot that I'm going to avoid. All right, next up, Nico Price, plus 210 versus Alex Morono, minus 258. So, historically, I've never picked Alex Morono. I have tweeted out, I should pay this guy respect. He's got a great MMA mind. He'll be a great coach, is a great coach, but will even be a better coach when he's done fighting. IQ through the roof. He's got unique stand-up. It's kind of awkward. It's herky-jerky. His only real problem, I think, is probably durability, which obviously could be put in question with Nico Price, who does have power. But does Nico Price really have power, people? Let's break this guy down, right? For the record, I'm picking Alex Morono.
He's a mortal lock and I'm gonna wheel him.
And I never thought I ever fucking do this on this show, but I'm giving what the card gives me. I'm feeling the vibes. I'm going Alex Morono as my mortal fucking lock. I never thought it was going to happen. And slam him up. I meant to get, sorry, I just now remember this. My boy Timbo wanted me to get my old soundbite of the dog soundbite. Next week I'm going to do it. I have a couple other sound bites I want to pick too. Whenever I hear a really good sound bite of a movie or TV show, I kind of jot it down to throw to the board. All right, so is Nico Price this big, huge power threat that they're going to say he is, right? So he knocked out Randy Brown off his back. Fantastic. A fight he was losing, he caught him off his back. Great. Got knocked out by Ador Razaka Hassan. Knocks out Timmy Means. That's a good win. Timmy Means is always been a little chinny, you know, and that was back in 2019, though. But, you know, he caught him with a good right hand. Again, another fight he was kind of losing. Jeff Neal put him out in round 2. He did drop Jeff Neal, so we'll give him a little credit back. This is all 2019, by the way. We'll give him a little credit. Then he up kicks James Vick. James Vick, we all know, the win knocks him out, right? You know, not much of a chin. Then after that, they're like, you know what, this Nico Price guy, he's got a little something. He's got 45 fucking kids. Let's get him some money. Let's get him some fights. He's got mouths to feed, right? So he gets Vicente Luque, gets stopped in the 3rd round, competitive fight. He goes to a majority decision draw with Donald Cerrone, which is a really weird, washed, cooked Cerrone, which is unfortunate, but that's the way the breaks. So then he fights Michel Pereira. Lackluster performance by both guys, in my opinion. Pereira couldn't put him out. His last win was back in 2021 against Alex Oliveira, decision win. He grappled a lot. He mixed some things in, but then here's his run. Phil Rowe knocked him out round 3. Slow pace fight, got caught. Robbie Lawler got him in under a minute in the last time out in the UFC, knocked him out, right? And then he's been grappling, whatever. Cancel fight with Jeremiah Wells. So his last real win was Alex Oliveira. His last real knockout was James Vick, which was an up kick, which we don't see a lot. His only true knockout in the UFC is Tim Means. The up kick from James Vick, doesn't happen a lot. James Vick came down on it. The back hammer fist on the bottom on Randy Brown, that's going to happen once every fucking 15 years probably. Tim Means was the only one. So I'm doubting this dude's power. I know Morono is a little bit chinny, but I don't think he has to worry about that. He cuts good angles. He has good boxing. He has good chokes if it needs to get to the ground. I'm all in on Morono. I talked myself into it. Hopefully I talked you into it. I'm slamming him up. I'm mortal locking him up. And there ain't not a goddamn thing you can do about it, okay? Christian, text me and tell me how bad of a pick that is, right? I'll fly to Denver, Colorado and stomp on your garden, bro. All these homemade tomatoes, great. And wipe my ass with them. All right, next up, Phil Rowe, plus 136 versus Jake Matthews, minus 162. Great fight. Both very inconsistent, up-and-coming guys. You know, Phil Rowe, this guy's out there grappling Gordon Ryan. He's out there grappling Craig Jones. Yes, he's getting subbed in a little over a minute. They're playing with them, but he's feeling these guys. He's trying his best. He is a striker. He's in that gym, the Fusion XL gym down in Florida. I believe he's still there. He might have moved around a little bit with Julian Williams down there. But this guy is a really good striker, 6'3", good long-range punches. It's just a matter of throw it. You know what I mean? The Neil Magny fight, he had one. It was a clinch fest. It looked like they were fucking each other on the cage. Very boring fight. Neil won it. He was surprised, but that's your own fucking fault. You need the throw. You're a better striker than Neil Magny. Get off the cage and work. Against Jake Matthews, who, again, I've been up and down on. That Andre Fiallo performance was amazing. That swagger, the boxing. Then he comes back and fights Matt Sellensberg and gets put down with like everything he gets hit with. Then he rebounds well again. Then he's coming off a loss again. It's the inconsistency on both these guys, right? And when you're giving me inconsistency, I'm going to go with the taller guy, and I'm going to go with the underdog. I'm going to go with Phil Rowe. Plus 136. I like the number. It's a bet that I'm going to make. I don't know how Phil gets it done. Jake Matthews can be durable. He has been caught in submissions before. If Phil Rowe is really trying to well-round his game, I wouldn't be surprised if he's learned some fucking chokes because his arms are so long. A Darce choke, guillotine are really nasty in those positions. But we'll see. But he is a fantastic striker. He's 6'3". I think Jake Matthews is probably going to initiate some grappling in this. And I think that's where Phil Rowe is going to need to prove his he's going to prove his improvements. I said that right? I fucking nailed that, dude. Put me on TV. I'm fucking nailing this stuff. Give me Phil Rowe. Next up, Grant Dawson, minus 375 versus Joe Selecki, plus 295. I kind of hate this fight. I kind of do, right? So Grant Dawson got put down and put out basically a jab against Bobby Green, jumped into a jab, got put down, right? Chin's going to be questioned for a while now. That was his first UFC loss, I believe. I think he had a draw with Ricky Glenn, but that was his first UFC loss. Grappling, dives at your legs, has no stand-up. Joe Selecki, if he wants to win this fight, who is also a grappler, who is not a volume puncher, who is not a striker at any means, he wants to win this fight, he's got to land some hands. I think he could put out Grant Dawson. I don't think Grant Dawson is built for being a striker. But this is going to be a grappler's delight. Grant Dawson more of a wrestler. Joe Selecki more of a jiu-jitsu player. I like Grant Dawson. The number's huge at minus 375. I don't know how I'm going to play this. Maybe Grant Dawson by submission. Let's throw that up there. Let's see what Grant Dawson by submission is. I also kind of like him by decision as well. So Grant Dawson by submission is plus 300, by decision minus 105. I'll dance for plus 300. Joe Selecki by knockout is plus 2,200. I'll dance for that too. Because listen, Bobby Green, King Green, has been really kind of sitting on his punches more, and he has been landing harder strikes than he has previous in his career, right? He was always a volume puncher, not really a power puncher. But when you step into a jab like he did, a left hand, get put down, and then get finished, maybe early stoppage, maybe not. I don't like that. Anything can happen in MMA. Maybe it was fluke. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But I think that dude's got a chin problem. But I don't think he's going to let it even stay on the feet a little bit. I think he's going to bum rush Selecki. I think it's going to be a pissing contest. I think he's going to want to show the world I'm the better grappler here, is what's going to happen. All right, next up, Cesar Almeida. This line's actually moving. Let me give you the updated lines here. I got these lines the other day. Versus Roman Kopylov. Almeida is minus 122. Kopylov is minus 102. Before I start the podcast, Kopylov was plus 105. This is interesting. So, spoiler alert, you probably already seen it, so it's not going to be a spoiler. I just got a tweet now. The Anakin Florian, the show that I'm on, is premiering at 6:30 in 5 minutes here. So, you've obviously already seen that. Kenny and I were split on this. And Kenny put money on Almeida, and I put big money on Kopylov. So, I'm an honest man. I'm honest Abe, honest Brian, right? I'm starting to have second thoughts on the big. I know it's fake money, right? It's not real money on the Anakin Florian, but man, I want to win. And Kenny's kicking my ass right now. I put 500, 400? What did I put on it? Let me look at my notes. $400. $400 at minus 119 is what I got him at on Kopylov. I was big on Kopylov coming to the UFC, laid 2 eggs. Now he's on a fucking run. He ran into Hernandez, who's a ground specialist, but he looked good in that first round. Almeida's a guy, yes, he beat Pereira in kickboxing, but he also lost to him fucking twice, and that was 11 years ago, right? They're building Almeida up because he has that win over over Pereira. Almeida's at 185. He's not the biggest guy in the world. I don't know if he's going to go up to 205, but it's almost like they're trying to build Almeida as like the new Izzy Pereira. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Pereira dog walks him. Also, Almeida's a little bit older, but listen, he can surprise me. I picked Dylan Bucka to beat him. I thought Dylan Bucka was going to be a dog in there, grind him out, outman him, and Almeida appears to be strong, appears to be working on his takedown defense. It's just not a kickboxer. He had 57 fights as a kickboxer, never been finished in MMA. He's sturdy. Kopilov's got some great body kicks, long-range weapons. Defense can be an issue, but every time he stood up with somebody in the UFC, he's looked very good. This isn't going to be grappling, right? Almeida's going to, I think, hang back and throw some kicks and look for one shot to knock out Kopilov. I think Kopilov is going to be the more active guy. I think he's going to be throwing a lot in his face. Footwork. Hopefully this boy's got cardio, because if he didn't have a great training camp, he doesn't have cardio. You're running around the ring. You're throwing body kicks. By second or third round, Almeida catches up with you, pins you against the cage, lands a strike, you're fucking toast. I don't think Almeida has like one punch Alex Pereira power, but he does have power. I like Roman Kopilov. I put $400 on the Yankee Florian. The reason I didn't mortal lock him was because I've had second thoughts. Kenny broke this fight down. He made a lot of sense. And I went back and watched some Almeida's early MMA fights, kickboxing fights, and I think I shortchanged him just a little bit. You know, kickboxing and MMA striking are very different. I think Kopilov might be the better guy in MMA striking-wise. I know that's crazy to say, but he's also definitely better at mixing in if he wants to take the fight to the ground, which I don't know if he's going to do, but he at least has that option. I don't think Almeida has that option. So give me Kopilov. I'm running for the fucking hills, but I didn't mortal lock him. I'm trying to play it smart here. Give me Roman Kopilov. All right, next up, Randy Brown. Rude boy. I told John I work on my Jamaican accent. I can't even picture it in my head, a Jamaican accent. Boomaclot. Rude boy. I can't do it. Randy Brown minus 175 versus Elazo Zozeki Dos Santos plus 145. Dos Santos is an interesting cat. Dude, 10-3-1 in UFC. Has got big wins over Strickland and Benoit Saint-Denis. Fucking murdered both dudes, right? But he just doesn't fight enough, right? He's older now. He's getting Randy Brown. And Randy Brown, again, kind of like the Morona thing, I'm worried about his chin. I mean, he got knocked out by Nico Price off his back. He's been knocked out before. It scares me. It scares me a little bit. But I think Rude Boy, if he's got that swagger, he's fighting kind of a hometown here. He's a New York boy. Fighting in New Jersey. Family and friends will be there, probably. Kind of a homecoming. Like, you know, he doesn't have to travel, right? He's going to be comfortable in there. He just has to be careful with the spitting shit. He has to be careful with the power, because Randy Brown, again, chin scares me. I didn't load up on Randy Brown for that reason. Kenny was very confident in him. I like Randy Brown. I don't know how I'm going to bet it. Decision, probably. I think this will go to the cards. I think Dos Santos is tough enough. If you don't want to play it that way, then play Dos Santos by knockout. What is Dos Santos by knockout? I think that could be an interesting number for the people who are on the opposite side of that. So Dos Santos by KO plus 450. That's a great fucking number. Randy Brown, again, is not the most durable guy in the world. And Dos Santos can put you out. Regardless of his age, regardless of his inactivity, he can put you out. But I'm going to go Rude Boy. All right, next up, Jailton Almeida, Jailman, minus 280-ish versus Alexander Romanov, plus 220. Man, both these guys owe us one, right? Romanov came in the UFC as the next Russian crusher and just has laid eggs, right? He's looked good in some fights, but recently has looked like dog shit, right? Yeah, he beat Blagoy Ivanov, but I mean, the toughest thing about that guy is his name. Not really. The guy's like been stabbed in the heart or some shit. I shouldn't say that about Blagoy, but that was his last win. Before that, he dropped 2. And then Jailton Almeida just absolutely got... He looked good against Curtis Blades, but it's like, bro, when you take people down, you can punch them. You can hit them. It's all position with this guy. He's strong. He's athletic, but it's like, ugh, fucking tag him up a little bit. Make him make mistakes. He doesn't do that. Then he got caught, got put out by Curtis Blades in the second round. I mean, Curtis Blades is a high-level guy. Before that was the most forgettable performance ever. It was against 5 rounds against Derek Lewis, where you couldn't get him out of there. And he barely landed any punches. Oh, Jailman owes us one. I'm high on this guy. I think this guy can be special. He's still a work in progress. I think he's better everywhere than Alex Romanov. I think he's going to be more athletic. Romanov probably, if he was smart, want to keep this on his feet. Last time he fought a grappler against Juan Esposito took him down. I think Jailton Almeida will take him down. I think Jailton Almeida, even off his back, will be okay against Romanov, even though Romanov is going to have his size. Romanov's been spending a lot of time in Thailand trying to work on his striking. So I feel like he's going to want to strike a little bit. Jailton's obviously been chin checked before. He's been knocked out twice in his career. So something to keep an eye on. Romanov by knockout isn't the craziest thing I've ever seen. If you really want to play that, again, we're giving out big numbers for this pod. Alex Romanov by knockout, plus 550. Okay, so Vegas is kind of on it. Still a nice little number. I like Jailton Almeida, though. I'm sliming him up, too. I believe in him. I never text John Anik at work. When he's working the desk, I don't text him, right? Professional courtesy. But I shot him a text after Almeida destroyed, was it Parker Porter maybe? The steakhouse. And I said, oh, this dude's for real, right? And I still believe that. But when you take somebody down, you take these fucking things and you bust them. What are you doing, right? All right, next up, Kevin Holland. Minus 265 versus Mihail Olasheshek. Oh, you thought I was going to fuck that up. Oh, you thought I was going to fuck that name up. Mihail Olasheshek. I probably fucked up his first name. Plus 215. Love this fight. Olasheshek's a hammer. This guy doesn't set anything up. He comes right forward. He body hunts you. He head hunts you. If I get tired, I get tired, but I'm trying to kill you. On the embedded, he's loving his time in New York. He's got his family here. He's having the time of his life. He's going to go out there and be killed for a round and a half, as much as he's got, right? Kevin Holland back at 85, which I don't hate, excuse me. I think that's a good thing for him. He is a guy that's kind of between her. He can bounce up. He can do certain things. He'll probably weigh in at 183. But Kevin Holland, I think, doesn't really get hurt too much on the feet, right? Has never been put away on the feet. Obviously Thompson and MVP or tricky fights, and he got clipped a bunch of times in those fights and he didn't look great on the feet. But other than that, he puts people out. His countering's very good. He's long rangey. He's a killer when he hurts you as well. He's a pure finisher, and his power's underrated for being like a skinnier kind of guy. However, the boys shot me a text, Timbo and Christian, earlier today, and I wasn't involved in the conversation, but they read my mind. I like Kevin Holland by sub here. By finish. That might be my green hammer. It's good to be my
send him home early. Send him home early.
Thank you, Johnny. Send him home early, Kevin Holland. Double chance it. KO or sub. Probably not gonna be the best number. I maybe would just pick one. Just fucking go. I'm gonna fucking just go ahead and predict this down to the T. So Kevin Holland by knockout plus 240, by submission plus 250. I like both those. Double chance is you're looking at, you're not looking at probably the best thing here. Let me see what double chance is, right? Kevin Holland by submission. Kevin Holland by KO minus 105. Almost even money. I think he's going to get a finish here. I think it's going to be a sub or a KO. Minus 105. I'll live with. If you want to dance, that plus money, I'd pick one. Gun to my head, sub. Here first. He's got a fucking darce on him. He's got a darce. All right, co-main event, Sean Strickland, minus 238 versus Paulo Costa, plus 195. So this fight is very interesting for me. Let me give you the updated lines. Paulo Costa is now plus 200, so not too much movement. Let me get a little sippy sip, drinky drink. I woke up with a throat thing this morning. What's wrong with my throat? I never had throat injuries, until I met my wife and had kids. Now every day I wake up with a fucking sore throat. It's kind of cold in the morning in Cincinnati. I don't ever shut up. I'm talking 24/7. It's like, what's going on in my throat, right? Anyway, interesting fight here. Interesting fight because I don't like Paulo Costa. I think I've made that pretty clear on a lot of things. I think the guy hasn't done anything. I think tad bit overrated. I think he has no wins against anybody. All the competition that he gets, he loses. But this is the first time in maybe his UFC career where he's taken a fight relatively quick after a previous fight. A fight where he looked okay, and yes, he lost his last fight, right? Why? I did all this fucking prep, and I don't even know if he lost his fucking last fight. Why can't I think of it? You have a whole thing on this, Brian. Think. Yes, he lost his last fight against Robert Whittaker. A fight that he could have won, by the way. Hurt Robert Whittaker, had him on skate legs, but could have won if he just threw more volume. This guy is interesting. He's funny, right? His broken English is great. He's doing viral videos with that Nina girl. He did a Logan Paul video forever ago. He's got the secret juice, right? Good looking guy, cut up, threw a first pitch out at the Mets game the other day. So the guy's making himself a superstar without having any superstar wins. I mean, Yoel Romero, Luke Rockhold, what? Right? And he's getting a huge test of Strickland. He's called out Strickland for a while here. And this is going to be interesting because both these guys love the box, and they're very, very different. Strickland is a Philly shell, defensive first, use my jab you to death, wear you down, don't take a backward step, watch the big shots, and I'll catch you with my shots, win a decision, maybe knockout. You know, he doesn't have a ton of knockouts on his record. Paulo Costa is I'm going to come forward. I don't have the best defense, but my chin's really good. Hit me, I'm going to hit you harder, right? And what's interesting is I never supported Paulo Costa, but I kind of think this is a really good matchup for him. I like Sean Strickland. I don't necessarily like maybe the person that he is. I don't know him personally, but some of the things he says I think are a little crazy or whatever, but he's just a crazy dude. He's an interesting cat. You know, I'm not going to get upset because he's a fucking free-thinking American. That's what America's all about, goddammit. But I don't love... This is my own stat. I brought this up on the Anakin Florian podcast. I should have done some more research. I don't love former champions, right? He's coming off a lost his title. It's not an immediate rematch. I don't love those fights for former champions. They've already touched the mountaintop. I think Sean Strickland probably heard a lot of people say he'll never be champion. He smoked Izzy, dropped it to Duplessis, won at that fight, didn't get it because Izzy's going to get it. Now he's got Costa. He looks to be in great shape. I don't think he needs any motivation to fight Paulo Costa. He's, constantly training, kind of the captain of that gym down there. But man, I don't know. There's a fucking gut feeling, this Midwestern gut, that Paulo Costa might clip him. I like Costa by KO. I'm going to play Costa by KO.
Hello? Okay, this is Dog.
Hello, okay, this is Dog. He's my dog lock. And Costa by KO, let me get that number. It's 300. It kind of reminds me of Strickland versus Cannonier. Cannonier, a big, powerful puncher who can throw volume when he wants to, threw volume in the Sean Strickland fight. Necessarily don't know if Cannonier won that fight, but it threw Sean off enough. I think the more Sean throws is better for Costa because Costa can take the shots. And when Sean... Excuse me, I just had a fucking snot just go, phew. When Sean is in transitioning from punching back to defense, chin in the air is very hittable. And I think that's where Costa can get him. Costa's a powerhouse of a guy. He threw that wheel kick and clipped Whitaker, put him in potholes. Sean Strickland's been knocked out by a wheel kick. I'll just say that. Sean Strickland's been put down many times. I'm not going to reference the Pereira fight because Pereira fight, Alex Pereira is a different beast. But, man, Paulo Costa, I've never picked him except maybe against Johnny Hendricks. No, I picked him against Johnny Hendricks. I picked him against Johnny Hendricks. But besides that, I've never picked him. My buddy Schmitty, my boy, loves Paulo Costa. Calls him Brazilian Superman. I've never seen it. But I'm on that side here. Plus 200. Plus 300 for the knockout. Add to my card. All right, main event. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. Plus 455. I'm going to say it right off the top. Dustin Poirier. By sub. Gilly. 2,200. 22-1 by sub. Imagine this dude who's probably going to be his final fight. Goes out there and gets the fucking Gilly. Islam has been put in some guillotines before. Drew Dober got him in one. Not saying Dustin's going to finish it, but man, I would love it. He got his floral shorts, gets the title, rides off into the sunset. That's how you do it. He's jumped Gilly in so many fights, and he's never finished a fight in the UFC by Gilly. Maybe in his MMA career, maybe earlier on he got to get a team, but I love that. Dustin Poirier plus 455. He's always got a puncher's chance. I mean, realistically, he could clip Islam. Islam looked really bad in the pocket in the first Volkanovski fight, especially the later the fight got, right? So early on, he dropped Volkanovski in the very first fight. He dropped Volkanovski in the pocket. The guy's got power. He knocked out T-Bow. He's a crafty left-handed fighter. His timing rhythm's off. He's got that explosive muscles. but his stand-up is pretty good, right? It's a lot better than you give him credit for. He hurt Volkanovski quite a bit in those exchanges. It's when the fight went longer and Volk stayed in that pocket and stayed in his face is when he kind of faltered, when he rushed the wrestling, when he wasn't really willing to take these shots. If it somehow gets late in the fight and Poirier's there, I mean, goodness gracious, we're looking at a fucking KO for sure. I just don't know if it's going to get there. You know, we've kind of seen this fight before. Dustin versus Khabib. Mike Brown's a great coach. They're obviously going to work off what they learn about Khabib. A lot of the same things they do are similar with the grappling exchanges, how they wrap your legs, how they hold your waist, how to break your locks. You know, Dustin kept trying to hit a switch on Khabib that didn't work. Hopefully he doesn't do that here. I do want him to jump at least one gilly. But Dustin's really good early on in the fight when transitions come up, right? You're not going to spark him out in the first round, you know, hopefully. You're not going to spark him out in the first round on the ground. You're just not. He's going to hold his own. His jiu-jitsu is pretty good. His defense is above average. It's when the fight gets extended, a la Charles Oliveira, a la Khabib, where he kind of wears down on the grappling a little bit. He's not getting his punches off, and then it happens, right? So I'm playing Islam Makhachev. I'm playing him by round 3 submission. This fucking sport is poetic, right? Frank Trigg, Matt Hughes, rivalry, both their fights ended the same. This, Dustin has had 3 title fights, not counting the Max Holloway fight. That was an interim title fight. Charles Oliveira got submitted in the 3rd round by rear naked choke. Khabib Nurmagomedov got submitted in the 3rd round by rear naked choke. I'm going Islam by sub, round 3 plus 900. That's the play here, Islam Makhachev. I love DP. I've really grown to like DP. I was never like the biggest Poirier fan. I saw him fight in Atlanta coming out. Pays the cost to be the balls. Pays the cost to be the balls. I downloaded that song right when it hit. Never heard it before. And what he's done in the octagon is amazing. His career, the ups and downs, and the fact that he's still here. Wasn't that long ago he got knocked out by Justin Gaethje for the BMF. And then he smoked Benoit Saint-Denis after having maybe not smoked, but had a rough first round. Came back and finished Benoit Saint-Denis, who apparently was already signed to fight Islam. So it's hard not to root for Dustin Poirier. The guy's an absolute fucking G. But Islam, I think, is just too good right now. I think if he makes horrible mistakes, I think Poirier can get him. I'm going to have Islam round 3, sub, plus 900. That's the only bet I'm going to have on the main event. I will throw about $10 on Dustin Poirier, 22-1 by submission. I believe there's some books out there that where you can pick what submission he gets. I'm sure guillotine will be not maybe as juicy as like an armbar. I think if he hits any submission, it'll probably be a fucking guillotine. But I'm excited, right? The main card excites me. The two last fights, co-main event, main event, excite me. They're getting the new gloves, which again, I'm a geek. A lot of people seem to hate him. Sean Strickland shitted on him. And I kind of take Sean Strickland's because Sean Strickland's constantly working, constantly using gloves, sparring with MMA gloves. You know, they send him the gloves to get used to him. He hates them, right? That is very indicative to me. But we'll see how it goes. Again, I'm so excited about the gloves. I can't believe I keep talking about the goddamn gloves. All right, that's it. That's the show. Woo! 50 minutes-ish. Did it. Nailed it. Got to go eat dinner. Yeah, that was fun. So UFC 302 in the books. Oh, got to give the Slimeball parlay. Slimeball parlay. Kevin Holland, Jalton Almeida, Alex Morono, plus 149. I want to throw Roman Kopylov in there and give you a real juicy, sexy number, but we're on a hot streak. Kind of won last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever the last event was. So I can't fuck it up. I need wins. I need money. I need the monies. So yeah, Slimeball parlay, Holland, Almeida, Jalton Almeida, and Alex Morono, plus 149. My locks are Dog Lock, Bow Wow Wow, Paulo Costa, Send Him Home, Kevin Holland, and Mortal Lock, Alex Morono. Now remember, I'm a guy of empty promises, but I am probably going to go live Friday night. Regardless, I'm going to send out, a lot of people really like the graphic I make with all my picks. The green hammer will be on that. I'm still kind of in the lab with that one, figuring that one out. But I want to go live, give the green hammer, talk to the chat, pay-per-view week. I'm excited. We were off last week. June is crazy stacked. June is. So yeah, this is what I live for, baby. This is what I fucking live for. All right, that's it. That's the show, baby. Let's go.